All right, let's tackle a huge question today, one that's based on some amazing insights from Y Combinator's Paul Graham. We're talking about how to start the next Google. And you know what? The answer is probably a lot simpler and way more direct than you think. Okay, let's dive in.
First things first, let's challenge a big assumption most of us just accept as true. When you're done with school, the next step is to get a job, right? That's just what you do.
Well, what if I told you that's not the only path? That there's actually a trick to avoid ever having to get what we think of as a normal job.
So what is this magic trick? It's pretty straightforward. Start your own company. Now, let's be super clear here. This is not a trick to avoid work. Oh no, you will probably work harder than you ever have in your entire life. The trick is avoiding all the stuff that makes a job feel like a job. Having a boss, being told what to do, working on things you don't care about. And beyond just not having a boss, there are some really good reasons to do this. I mean, for one, it's just way more exciting to build your own thing. And let's be real for a second. If you look at how people get seriously wealthy, this is the standard way to do it. Nearly everyone on those rich lists started their own company. And look, this advice isn't just some nice theory. It comes from a massive amount of real-world data. Y Combinator has funded over 4,000 startups since 2005. They've seen this play out time and time and time again. They know what works. So if you've seen over 4,000 startups get off the ground, what's the secret sauce? What do you actually need? Well, it all boils down to just 3 essential things. Here's the recipe. Number 1, you need to get really, really good at some kind of technology. Number 2, you need an idea for what to build with it. And number 3, you need co-founders to build the company with. So how do you get all 3? Now, here's the really cool part. There is one single answer, one activity, that gets you all 3 of those essentials. And that single answer is working on your own projects. This whole journey starts with a massive shift in your mindset. You have to ask yourself, are you a producer or are you a consumer? Are you writing programs or are you just using apps? Are you building video games or are you just playing them? Making that jump from just consuming things to actually making things is the most important first step you can take. And here's a brilliant story that shows why you should just follow what you're genuinely interested in. When Steve Jobs was young, he got obsessed with calligraphy. Nobody, including him, thought that would ever be useful. But years later, when they were building the Macintosh, his deep understanding of fonts and design absolutely crushed the competition. Your projects don't have to seem important at the time. They just have to be interesting to you. So let's nail this down. Projects are basically a 2-for-1 deal. They are the absolute best way to learn a technology because you learn so much faster when you're building something you're actually excited about. And as it turns out, they're also the #1 source of great startup ideas. See, once you get good at a technology, you start to see the world in a totally different way. There's this great metaphor. Most of us see a door that sticks and just think, ugh, that's annoying. A carpenter sees it and immediately knows how to fix it. When you master a technology, all the broken things in the world that could be fixed with that tech become as obvious to you as that sticking door, and every single one is a potential startup. And this isn't just a fun theory. It's how the biggest companies on the planet actually got started. Facebook? It was just a project Mark Zuckerberg was hacking on in his dorm room. Google? That was a research project by Larry and Sergey to make search better. And Apple started because Steve Wozniak was a hobbyist who just wanted to build a computer for himself. They were all just side projects, not some grand business plan. Okay, so projects get you the tech skills, and they spark the big idea. That just leaves one last piece of the puzzle: finding the people to build it with you, your co-founders. And by now, I bet you can guess the answer. You find co-founders the exact same way you find ideas, by working on projects with them. It's the ultimate test drive. It's the only way to really know if you can actually build something together before you're legally tied at the hip. Now, this leads to a surprising but super important piece of advice. Do well in school, but not for the reason you think. It's not about the classes. It's about getting into the best university you can. Why? Because top universities are basically a giant filter for finding smart, ambitious, determined people. They are the single best place to meet your future co-founders and even your first few employees. So, after all that, the entire path to starting a company can actually be boiled down into a beautifully simple 2-step plan. And here it is. This is the whole game plan. Step 1, build stuff. Work on your own projects, things that you find genuinely cool. That's how you'll master technology and stumble upon amazing ideas. Step 2, do well in school. That's how you get into the room with the talented people who will become your co-founders. That's it. That's the path.
The path to starting something huge doesn't begin with a perfect business plan or a bunch of investor meetings. It starts with curiosity. It starts with learning by doing and with surrounding yourself with amazing people. So really, the only question left to ask is, what project are you going to start today?